Much of eastern Libya now appears to be no longer in Gadhafi's grip. CNN's Ben Wiedemann saw some of the remnants of it in the city of Tobruk.
This is what remains of Tobruk's main police station, a hated symbol of the Gadhafi regime. On the 17th of February, protesters came out into the streets. They were fired upon by the security services, but eventually the people here were able to overpower the police, and they came and ransacked this place and then came and burnt cars belonging to the intelligence services.
Ben Wiedemann joins us now from eastern Libya. Ben, what kind of reaction did the people around you have to Muammar Gadhafi's speech today?
Anderson, it was really one of disgust. They already have very negative feelings toward this man who ruled the country for 42 years. You hear the same thing over and over again. They say Majnoon. That's Arabic for crazy. The feeling is he's just so wildly out of touch with reality, not to speak of his people, of course, that he simply is raving on television. Now, but they are, having said that, they know he's insane, but they're also very worried about what he could do in the event that he really felt like him and his regime were going down. One worry is that he's going to recruit some pro-Libyan tribes in Egypt to come and counterattack the eastern part of the country. Also worries that he could use his Navy, his Air Force, to attack the eastern part of the country. So nerves are really raw at the moment, given the fact that day after day he's making these speeches, these brief addresses, as the case was yesterday, indicating that he's becoming, in the view of many Libyans, seriously unhinged.
In terms of the military that he has at his disposal, I mean, we've heard reports of soldiers, you know, turning over to the opposition, to the protester side. I mean, is that sort of a soldier-by-soldier decision? Have there been mass defections? Do we know at this point?
It appears there have been large or even mass defections of the military. In fact, we spent the evening with one military officer who defected a few days ago, and he was meeting with prisoners, soldiers who had been captured, and trying to convince them that they should come over to the side of what he called the revolution. And I also spoke to some of those prisoners, and they indicated that morale within the army is absolutely miserable, that they tried to avoid carrying out their officers' orders to fire into the crowds of protesters. Several of them said that they fired randomly in the air just to avoid killing their fellow Libyans. So it appears that even though the military in many areas continues to carry out Gadhafi's orders, they may be doing it unwillingly.
You talked about pro-Gadhafi tribes in Egypt that might attack the east. I mean, is that a real possibility?
It is a possibility. In fact, Gadhafi, for many years, every time he would visit Egypt, he would go to the oasis of Fayoum, where he has relatives. They're basically from the same tribe, and he has provided that area with a lot of money. He's basically bought these people off. They are loyal to him, and obviously if they see that he's going down, they could be worried that their gravy train could be about to cut off. So it's definitely a possibility. The question is, will the Egyptian army control the border and prevent that sort of incident from happening? We shall see.
And in terms of the eastern Libya where you are in, I mean, are there any vestiges of the state regime, of Gadhafi's regime left that are in power, or is everywhere now controlled by the protesters?
Well, we haven't been everywhere in the eastern part of the country, but certainly from what we've seen, it is the anti-Gadhafi movement that's in charge. No sign whatsoever of any government authority, and that's a welcome development for the people here. There's, of course, no indication that there's always the possibility that there could be sort of underground elements out there, and that explains why sort of every road you go on has checkpoints where young men with machetes, hunting rifles, and AK-47s are stopping cars, looking inside, checking the IDs of people because they're worried that there may be an attempt to re-infiltrate pro-Gadhafi elements into the eastern part of Libya.
Ben, stay safe. Remarkable reporting.